Within the huge pit quarters, dressed in a bronze armor, Luo Feng sat in his stone chair and pondered. Even though the wild beast Qinyo has as many crystals as I want. However, how many can a normal fighter absorb? Hence the amount he has is limited, and I'm afraid I can at most get 1 or 2 crystals from him. Luo Feng shook his head. This amount of crystals was definitely not enough. Then, Luo Feng squinted. There's only one way. So, a silhouette immediately rushed into the cloud levels, reaching the 18th level. It was Mosha Luo Feng. Beside him a silver-white pyramid ship appeared, and Mosha Luo Feng swiftly entered the ship through the cabin door. Within the control room. Luo Feng, what are you doing? Babata's voice resounded within the control room. Why are you using the Mosha clansman? The black-armored Mosha Luo Feng sat on the wide, soft sofa, revealing a smile. Babata, don't be anxious. I used the Mosha clansman because of the Blood River crystal. He swiftly explained the golden horned beast's absorption of the crystal, and also the reason for his visit. Absorbing 15 crystals isn't enough. Absorbing 10 is already so mysterious. What will it be like if I absorb more? Babata was very excited. Mosha Luo Feng nodded. Hence, I've placed you, the cloud contact vine and all the important treasures on the Mosha clansman, including the life core. It's also within him. Right now, the only thing left in the huge pit quarters is my earth body. Even if my body encounters a calamity and dies, it's a small matter. As long as the core is undamaged, then even if the 3 bodies are destroyed they can still be recovered. What you're doing makes sense. The core is within the Mosha clansman. In terms of life preservation, the Mosha clansman combined with the automaton ship is indeed safer. Babata admitted. What are you preparing to do now? Hunt. Mosha Luo Feng revealed a smile. Blood River continent is vast and boundless. Each world is controlled by sector lords. The entire continent has over 10 million world cities, and the number of sector lords too. And the number of domain lords is 100 times that of the sector lords. That's even more shocking. Blood River continent worships strength. The various worlds fight against each other. A large number of humans die every day, and many region lords die every year. What I need to do is to hunt down some region lords in secret. I won't kill too many either. Within the tens of millions of worlds in Blood River continent, within the area controlled by over 1,000 world cities, I'll only kill 1 domain lord. Hunting close to 10,000 domain lords in the entire Blood River continent isn't that eye-catching. Mosha LuoFeng's eyes gleamed fiercely. A domain lord on average gets 1 Blood River crystal. I'll be able to get close to 10,000 crystals. I believe you. These close to 10,000 crystals should be enough. Mosha LuoFeng said softly. How ruthless. Close to 10,000? That's how it should be. Only then will it be satisfying. Hurry and set off. Unleash the power of the universe's strongest assassin race. Babata too was excited by LuoFeng's description. Hunting. With the entire Blood River continent as his target. Hunting stealthily without anyone noticing. Depart. Mosha LuoFeng ordered. Whoosh. The automaton ship that was shaped like a meteor was swiftly flying in the void outside of Blood River World. Blood River Continent, Heavenly U City. This was a main city that was over 1 billion km away from the ancient god ruins. On the streets outside the city leader's residence. You actually dare to challenge me in my territory, you're looking to die. Are you regretting it now? It's too late. A green-skinned, cold-eyed man dressed in a battle robe sat high up on the back of a dire beast, the centipede bug beast that was more than 10 meters tall. He looked down coldly and ordered, pass down my order. Destroy the Mo clan. Lord City Leader, that Mo family brat is very arrogant. Offending you, he deserves to die. However, the Mo family is such a big family, it's inevitable for an arrogant disciple to appear. There's no need. Beside, an armored cloud-level general said respectfully. A phantom suddenly whipped the general, sending him flying and crashing into a large restaurant building on the opposite side of the street, causing the entire restaurant to explode. Some of the flying rubble smashed into some passers-by in the distance, causing them to bleed, and some were directly smashed to death. Immediately, the street was filled with panic. A silhouette flew out from the collapsed restaurant. It was the general who spat out blood with a pale face. He respectfully knelt on the ground. Lord City Leader, your subordinate knows his wrongs, your subordinate knows his wrongs. Remember. Heavenly U territory is my territory. The cold man gazed below. Whoever I say deserves to die, they deserve to die. If you dare to disobey me again, it won't just be this whip. Understood, understood. The general was extremely terrified. Go wipe out the entire Mo family. If you want to blame someone, blame that little bastard. My mood today was just right and it was all ruined by that little bastard. Why don't they take a look at who they are, daring to offend me? I can crush the Mo clan as easily as crushing a bug. The cold-looking man sat on the back of the centipede bug beast and entered the castellan's mansion under the escort of his subordinates. Only then did the general stand up. General. The others looked at him. What are you standing there for? Hurry and gather the troops to wipe out the Mo family. The general howled. Yes. The Mo family is at least one of the top 10 families in our Heavenly U city. Just because that little bastard Mo Chong offended the city leader, it's over. How pitiful. Our Mo Chong young master, how did he offend the city leader? I don't know. I heard that the city leader disguised himself as a normal person and brought 2 guards with him to the west side's Jioya Tower. For some reason he got into a conflict with our young master Mo Chong. That young master Mo Chong is usually very arrogant. Today he's really unlucky to meet the city leader. With a single order from the city leader, the entire Mo family will be finished. Pitiful, pitiful. Pitiful my ass, the city leader isn't a good person. That Mo Chong is a bastard too. The more they die the better. A large number of people gathered on the streets were discussing. Within the crowd, Luo Feng, who was dressed in a loose black long robe, was listening to everything. He revealed a smile. I didn't expect to witness such a good show the moment I arrived in Heavenly U City. Ichem, city leader? So tyrannical, I hope you have more Blood River crystals on you. Oh. The black-clothed Luo Feng walked noiselessly within the crowd and entered the city leader's residence. Within the city leader's residence, within a 7-story luxurious palace, a man with a cold expression was lying on a bed that was more than 10 meters wide. 2 charming girls with scales between their eyebrows were massaging him. Gentler, gentler, yes, just like that. The man closed his eyes and ordered. City leader, my sister and I saw a piece of clothing in the beautiful clothing pavilion. Buy whatever you see. Just report it to the manager of the residence. The cold man said casually. Thank you, city leader. The 2 ladies were getting more excited. The cold man's lips curled into a smile. This sort of power and control, the lives of others, the feeling of having countless people beg him, it was extremely wonderful. My older brothers are really stupid. Just to become a world leader they have to train like a monk. Is there a need for that? I'm so happy like this, haha, world leader? It's so easy to train? Life. It should be like this. Pucci. 3 blood-red lights lit up, and the gloomy man widened his eyes in horror. Beside his luxurious bed, there was a man in black standing. The man in black was holding a saber and looking at him coldly. I'm dead? How can this be? The man felt his life core shatter. He stared wide-eyed, simultaneously his consciousness was fading. His carefree life had ended just like that. How rotten. Black-clothed Luo Feng stood beside the bed. Looking at the 3 naked bodies on the bed, his eyes cold. Such a rotten life to actually be able to become a domain lord, you're really lucky. Or should I say, you have a background? The stronger the background, the more I like it. The bigger the background, the more Blood River crystals. He swiftly found a space ring from the dead city leader. 2 Blood River crystals? Black-clothed Luo Feng revealed a smile. Not bad, it's a good start. Following which he waved his hand and the 3 bodies including the bed were kept into his space ring, preparing to destroy all evidence. Shwa. Black-clothed Luo Feng was like a specter. He immediately left the city leader's mansion and rushed into the sky, rushing to the 18th cloud level and sitting in the automaton ship. He continued to advance in the space outside of Blood River World. After killing 1 person he would change locations. Absolute caution. With the worlds of Blood River continent killing each other, wars were frequent. In such a chaotic situation, the occasional death of a domain lord wasn't much. And when some domain lords were killed, their underlings wouldn't even know. They thought the domain lord had gone somewhere to train. In space, within the first level of Tianshi Palace that was in charge of monitoring the entire Blood River world. What's up with His Majesty Luo Feng? Why is he always sitting in that automaton ship of his? After a while he flies out of Blood River world. After a while he goes in again. After a while he comes out again. What do you mean by a while? Normally it's 1 to 2 days. But this frequency is too high. Just what is His Majesty Luo Feng doing? The group of sector lords in charge of monitoring were all curious. They didn't understand what Luo Feng was doing. While Mosha Luo Feng was hunting, within the huge pit quarters of the ancient god ruins. Dressed in a bronze armor, Luo Feng sat there with his eyes closed. His speed is pretty fast, on average he gets 1 Blood River crystal a day. The hunting plan till today has been going on for half a year. Including yesterday's, it should be the 98th crystal. Luo Feng smiled as he opened his eyes. I've got another 2, making it a total of 100 crystals. Even though he was in the ancient god ruins, Luo Feng was still very relaxed. As the core was within the Mosha clansman, even the living AI Babata and other important items were taken away by the Mosha clansman. Thus, there was nothing to worry about when the Earthling's main body stayed here. Even if I'm killed, I'll just use up a bit of the internal world's energy to recover. Luo Feng closed his eyes. His consciousness connected to the virtual universe through the quantum computer within his space ring. In a while, there's still a gold origin law class, I can't miss it. Over 1 trillion km away within a quiet and vast city. Within the city leader's residence, within a pagoda's 3rd level, within a secret training room, a man dressed in armor laid on the ground. Black-clothed Luo Feng stood beside him. With these 2 crystals, the total I've acquired since leaving the ancient god ruins is exactly 100. Black-clothed Luo Feng waved his hand and immediately destroyed the evidence. After which, he left silently in the night sky, rushing into the sky and sitting on the automaton ship into the space outside of Blood River continent. Within the control room of the automaton ship, black-clothed Luo Feng sat on the sofa, laughing softly, exterior simulation 100%. Immediately the scenery around him changed. An incredibly beautiful and dreamy space appeared in his vision, and below him was the cloud layer of Blood River continent. Luo Feng, you absorbed 30 crystals the last 2 times. How many are you preparing to absorb today? The light gathered beside and formed Babata's energy silhouette. The little demon smiled happily at Luo Feng. I'm preparing to absorb 25. Black-clothed Luo Feng said. Ah. In the ancient god ruins the golden horned beast absorbed 15. The last 2 times it absorbed 30 each time. Right now the golden horned beast has absorbed a total of 75 crystals. Including today's 25, it's exactly 100. The little demon Babata laughed weirdly. That intense pain, can you handle it? Black-clothed Luo Feng frowned. Yes. Back when he absorbed the 10th crystal, the pain was so intense that the golden horned beast couldn't control itself and charged about. The other 2 bodies were in excruciating pain, that pain even made their souls tremble. The pain of absorbing the 11th crystal was far weaker than the 10th. However, the further he went, the more crystals he absorbed, the more pain he felt. By the time he absorbed the 72nd crystal, the pain was comparable to when he absorbed the 10th. Last time, Luo Feng risked his life and managed to absorb the 75th, but he almost fainted. Today is the 76th to 100th fusion. I reckon that every fusion will be more painful than the previous one, Little Devil reminded him. If you can't take it, it's better to separate the fusion into a few days. I'm fine. The black-clothed Luo Feng's gaze was sharp. You can't even take this little pain and you still want to become undying? This isn't just a little pain. If it weren't for your strong willpower, your soul would have been destroyed long ago, Babata reminded. Absorbing the crystal, I've never heard of anyone's soul being destroyed. The black-clothed Luo Feng said softly. If one can't handle it, they'll immediately faint and the absorption will stop. There was no danger. And Babata, I have a feeling that when 100 crystals are absorbed, a miracle will happen. The black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes were filled with anticipation. Let's begin. Shwa. Within the automaton ship, there was only one core left. The black-clothed Luo Feng entered the internal world. Within the internal world, the black mountain-like golden horned beast slowly got up, and the black-clothed Luo Feng suddenly appeared. A heaven-like pillar-like right claw extended and placed before the black-clothed Luo Feng. 76th crystal. The black-clothed Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a triangular blood-red crystal, placing it on the palm of the claw. As the sharp claw pierced through the scales, the 76th crystal began to absorb. Ah! The black-clothed Luo Feng gripped his fists and gritted his teeth, standing there trembling. Howl! The golden horned beast was in so much pain that it fiercely rushed into the sky. Those 2 huge black cloud-like scaled wings began to flap, madly flying in the air above the vast metal continent, occasionally crashing into metal mountain ranges, venting out the intense pain, only stopping after a while. Still alright, it feels better than the last time when I absorbed 30 crystals. Looks like my willpower has been tempered and raised again. The black-clothed Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief, releasing his tightly clenched fists. The golden horned beast that landed raised its right claw, simultaneously activating that mysterious energy. Immediately the right claw turned from pure black to a faint gold color. A black-colored golden horned beast covered in gold armor, its entire body was pitch black. Even those 4 horns, because they were covered in golden engravings, they looked golden. In truth, it was a mix of gold and black. Only the right claw was completely golden, and it had endless energy. And on this right claw, there were extremely complicated and incomparably beautiful engravings. The complexity of the engravings, even compared to the golden engravings on the entire body of the golden horned beast, it wasn't too far off. However, even a normal person would feel that this blood-red complicated engravings were incomplete. It wasn't complete. Looking at the number of engravings, I feel that after absorbing the 100th crystal, it should be complete. The black-clothed Luo Feng stared at the blood-red engravings on the huge right claw. When absorbing 3, the engravings were simple but complete. When absorbing 10, the engravings were much more complicated, however they were still as complete as 1. Right now, the golden horned beast's right claw had already absorbed 76 crystals. Continue to the 77th. The black-clothed Luo Feng placed another crystal in the palm of the right claw. 78th, 79th, 80th. As time went on, every time the right claw was modified, it made the golden horned beast feel so much pain that it wanted to die. However, the pride and rock-like willpower in its bones allowed Luo Feng to endure it time and time again. Bang. It was so damn painful. 86th, 87th, 88th. Ancient god ruins within the training room of the huge pit quarters. Dressed in bronze armor, Luo Feng knelt within the training room. His 10 fingers were like hooks fiercely clawing at the stone floor, clawing at the stone until it broke into powder. He gritted his teeth, his gums making creaking sounds. His face was flushed with blood, veins popping out, his entire body was sweating profusely, even the ground was wet. Kachi kachi pa. Scared. Puke. Luo Feng fiercely spat out a few broken teeth. Damn. Pain. It really hurts. Luo Feng's entire body was trembling. Sweat seeped through the gaps in his armor and flowed outwards, his skin felt like it was being cooked. That unprecedented pain from his soul was completely affecting his body. Luo Feng fiercely knelt. His entire body seemed to be paralyzed, constantly panting and panting. My god, I finally made it through. I feel like I've died over 1,000 times. The virtual universe is 100% simulated, even the pain of death is simulated. However, the pain of death isn't even 1/10,000 of this pain. Luo Feng's entire body lay there. Just his earth body was in so much pain. How much pain would the golden horned beast who was directly bearing the brunt of the right claw be in? One had to know that this pain was from the golden horned beast's body acting on the soul. The pain the golden horned beast felt was the most intense. This is only the 90th crystal, how do I take the rest? Luo Feng couldn't imagine. The pain he felt before was already the most terrifying pain he had ever felt in his entire life. It was so painful that he almost fainted. Fainting was an instinctive form of self-protection. However, Luo Feng was very clear that the moment he fainted, it meant that the absorption of the crystal had failed. In the void a trillion kilometers away, in the control room of the mechanical race's spaceship, the crystal core was spinning in the air. The 91st crystal. The black-clothed Luo Feng took a deep breath and placed another crystal into the golden horned beast's right claw. The huge golden horned beast, with its dark golden eyes that were even larger than a lake, looked down at the crystal. Within its eyes there was a sense of fear. It was really too painful. The sharp claws slashed across and fresh blood flowed. The 91st crystal began to absorb. Kill. Kill, kill. An incomparably mad killing aura willpower covered the skies and earth as it rushed towards Luo Feng's willpower. Every time he absorbed a crystal, the killing aura willpower would increase by 1 level. At the 91st crystal, this killing aura willpower wasn't any weaker than the killing aura whirlpool from before, which had 8 times the killing aura. It even surpassed it. My heart is like a mirror, don't even think of tempting me, scram. Luo Feng's willpower let out a furious roar, madly resisting. Time and time again the killing aura willpower finally retreated. I finally withstood this killing aura willpower. Actually, at this time, it wasn't just the pain from the transformation of the right claw that was almost unbearable, even the killing aura willpower was something Luo Feng couldn't withstand. However, withstanding the killing aura willpower and withstanding the body transformation pain were two different things. Withstanding the killing aura willpower, blocking it was blocking it, failure was failure. There was no pain, no suffering. However, the pain persisted, wave after wave, until the right claw was completely transformed. Only then would the terrifying pain stop. Damn, it's coming again. The black-clothed Luo Feng's body trembled, immediately kneeling on the ground, both his hands digging into the metal ground, gritting his teeth as he held on. Howl? The golden horned beast howled madly, venting its frustration. The 91st crystal, after experiencing the life and death nightmare again and again, he finally made it through. 92nd crystal. If he wanted to succeed, he had to be tough on himself. Luo Feng continued to let the golden horned beast absorb the 92nd crystal. My god, the killing aura willpower of the 92nd crystal was simply unbearable. Luo Feng struggled to control his willpower, making it incomparably condensed. He persisted and persisted, feeling as though his willpower was about to crumble. Finally, the terrifying killing aura willpower retreated. But what followed was an even more frightening pain that persisted endlessly. Why do I have a feeling? Black-clothed Luo Feng picked up the 93rd crystal and said softly, to absorb the 100th crystal, it will be very, very difficult. Continue. When the 93rd crystal touched the wound of the golden horned beast's right claw, an even more berserk and ferocious killing aura willpower rushed at Luo Feng's willpower. That killing aura willpower was endless, every strand was incomparably strong. Luo Feng could barely defend against it time and time again. Rumble. Luo Feng felt a wave of dizziness. After which, the three bodies all fell unconscious. After the killing aura willpower broke through Luo Feng's resistance, it swiftly returned to the crystal. Absorbing the 93rd crystal, failure. The moment he fainted, when the killing aura willpower receded, Luo Feng quickly regained his consciousness. I actually failed. Black-clothed Luo Feng frowned. I knew it would be very hard to last until the 100th, but I didn't expect to fail at the 93rd. That killing aura willpower was too powerful and berserk, the pain was too intense. This all means, my willpower isn't strong enough. Luo Feng was very wrong. His willpower wasn't strong enough? Even the absolute genius of the Undying Shrine that appeared once in a trillion years, if he wanted to, he could step into Undying in a short time. In terms of willpower, he was much weaker than Luo Feng. Many Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors couldn't even compare to Luo Feng in terms of willpower. Hence, in terms of willpower, Luo Feng was actually very strong. The real reason was, how many people could absorb up to the 93rd crystal? On Blood River Continent, absorbing 10 would make one a legendary black warrior. Every time one absorbed, the requirements for one's body would increase by 10 times. To absorb the 93rd crystal? That was too unrealistic. 93 crystals, the killing aura willpower constantly stacking. It was ridiculous. The right claw can't absorb anymore. What about the other parts of the golden horned beast? The golden horned beast placed the crystal in its right claw into its left palm. Following which, it sliced through the scales and fresh blood touched the crystal. Rumble. The formless energy from the crystal rushed into the golden horned beast's body, simultaneously bringing with it the other killing aura willpower within. It swiftly stacked up to an incomparably powerful level, directly attacking Luo Feng's willpower within the golden horned beast. Rumble. How can this be? It actually stacked up with the killing aura willpower from the right claw? Luo Feng was shocked. Kill? The crazy killing aura willpower once again rushed over. Luo Feng struggled to hold on, condensing his willpower like a boulder to defend. However, even a boulder, under the endless killing aura willpower, it was still crushed into pieces. He fainted again. That formless energy returned to the crystal and Luo Feng regained his consciousness. Within the control room of the automaton ship, that crystal ball was slowly revolving. The golden engravings on its surface were glowing. Suddenly the black-clothed Luo Feng appeared. I actually failed. The black-clothed Luo Feng sat on the sofa, looking ahead into the endless space. What's the matter, Luo Feng? The demon Babata's human silhouette was condensed from energy. The black-clothed Luo Feng explained the merging process. Oh, no wonder. In the entire history of Blood River continent, there probably hadn't been anyone who had absorbed 93. Even for the highest level 4 wild beast Qinyo, it's already very powerful to absorb more than 10. The demon Babata laughed. Luo Feng, don't mind it too much. As your willpower improves, you'll be able to fuse more in the future. I don't care about that. Black-clothed Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. However, the other parts of the golden horned beast are unable to absorb the crystals. It's because you can't resist the slaughter will. The demon Babata sat on the sofa beside him, crossing his legs and looking at the endless space in front of him. The Blood River crystal's energy that transforms the body has a limited range. But the killing aura willpower is different. This is willpower, it can spread to any part of the golden horned beast's body. When you want the golden horned beast's left claw to absorb the crystal, the killing aura willpower will immediately trigger all the killing aura willpower within the golden horned beast's body and attack it once. Black-clothed Luo Feng nodded. He understood the theory. Every time one was absorbed, the killing aura willpower would constantly stack. Even if the body parts were different, the willpower would still stack. Luckily, I've already absorbed all the crystals into my right claw, Luo Feng thought. The golden horned beast's right claw was already a trump card, it was incomparably terrifying. And if he had evenly absorbed the crystals into every part of his body from the start, every part of his body could have been transformed 7 to 8 times. However, that way, the increase in strength would be very limited. It would be better to directly create a terrifying right claw. I'm too greedy. This is already a huge opportunity for me, I can't be greedy. And as long as I keep training my willpower, I believe one day I'll be able to absorb the 100th crystal. I have a feeling that after absorbing the 100th crystal, the complicated blood engravings will be incomparably perfect. When that time comes, there should be a special effect. Luo Feng thought. Continue. 3 great bodies, each with their own duties. Luo Feng quickly adjusted his emotions. This Blood River world had a total of 2 missions. The first was to acquire a Blood River crystal. This mission was a reward of 10,000 points. The second was to become a Blood Warrior and acquire a Blood River medal, receiving 100,000 points. Even though, acquiring large amounts of crystals wouldn't give him many points. However, Blood River crystals were only found in Blood River World, they were a special product of Blood River World. Even though there were many in Blood River World, almost all the domain lords had them, and even some universe-level elites would acquire one. However, its value was undeniable. If I can get my hands on it, I'll try to get as much as I can. These Blood River crystals, these things should be more expensive. The Mosha clansman continued his hunting trip. Of course, traveling took up 99.9% of the time, the actual hunting time was very short. So, other than hunting and killing, when it was in the automaton ship, the Mosha clone would enter the inner world and study the 9 universe primal chaos tablets drizzle diagram according to the floating blood secret manual and spacetime scribbles. The golden horned beast, on the other hand, combined the 3 ancient pictures to train in tearing sky and land. As the strength of its right claw was shocking, and it could draw upon the origin laws of the universe, causing the laws to amplify by 9 times. This meant, using its right claw and not using it, the golden horned beast's strength was close to 10 times stronger. The golden horned beast itself was already incomparably strong, but 10 times stronger? However, this was an opportunity. After all, to absorb 92 crystals was too difficult and demanding. The power of its right claw was shocking, hence the 3 ancient pictures. Luo Feng focused on the third. The first was the beast leaping and swinging its tail, smashing apart the huge palm that descended from the sky. The second was the beast lowering its head, its golden horn facing forward as it charged at high speed. The third was the beast waving its claws and smashing fiercely. The golden horned beast's right claw was already strong, and combined with this attack, the golden horned beast's study of tearing sky and land, 80% of its focus was on the first claw. Luo Feng had long prepared, he was prepared to train the first claw into his true killing move. The right claw was strong, naturally he had to focus on training his claws. Combining the strong, only then would it be even more ferocious. First claw. The golden horned beast began an incomparably arduous and frenzied study and training, studying the tearing sky and land techniques left behind by its ancestors, chasing after the ancient beast's claw, constantly strengthening the first claw's power. The Earth body often went to listen to the Undying's lectures, occasionally studying how to combine gold and space, at the same time staying in the killing aura environment and improving his body. Of course, the 3 great bodies were all training their minds. The golden horned beast would occasionally try to absorb the crystals, feeling the terrifying killing aura willpower rush and resisting it to train himself. The Mosha clansman was training his heart and soul within the bloody slaughter. The Earth body was training his heart and soul according to his 2 brothers Hong and Thunder God's teachings. Occasionally he would even interact with them in the virtual universe. With the guidance of these 2 great masters who had reached the pinnacle of both Chinese martial arts and ancient yoga, Luo Feng would occasionally gain insights. Studying the origin laws, studying the wonders of the techniques, training his heart and soul. In the long river of time, Luo Feng constantly perfected himself. In the blink of an eye, 30 years had passed. Within the vast Blood River continent, within one of the city leaders' residences, it was currently daytime. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay, near the lake there were 3 people sitting there. A tall youth with short black hair, dressed in casual clothes sat there. However, he seemed like a spear that could pierce through the skies. And on his left sat a white-robed bald youth with a smile on his face. This white-robed bald youth's smile was so pure and holy, it made one's soul feel intoxicated. Beside these two sat a skinny youth with a faint killing aura. His entire being was like a cold blood blade that came out of a blood ocean. That killing intent and coldness was shocking. 30. Your mental state is getting more and more extreme. The bald youth shook his head and smiled. Second brother, in terms of mental state training, I can't compare to you. I can't see through it in a short while. Then I'll continue to walk the limit, that way I'll at least improve. Luo Feng smiled. He himself felt it too. As he had been in the absolute beginning region for a long time in the ancient god ruins of Blood River world, he had been affected by the killing aura for tens of years. His bones were originally cold and bloodthirsty. Now that he was affected by the killing aura and the golden horned beast absorbing so many Blood River crystals, it caused Luo Feng to emit a killing aura even in the virtual universe network. Walking the limit is after all a small path. Thunder God shook his head. Second brother. Hong smiled indifferently as he sat there. You don't have to force third brother. In terms of mental state training, third brother is also unique. To be able to train his mental state to such a level, untainted and unaffected. Absolute purity, absolute rejection, absolute condensation. This kind of absolute is actually a kind of improvement of the state of mind. Thunder God was stunned, after which he nodded and asked curiously, Big brother, but this is ultimately... Hong looked at Luo Feng, third brother? Big brother. Luo Feng smiled at Hong. Your second brother and I have taught you a lot about mental state training. However, mental state training is completely different from other training. This is a form of transcending one's mental state. Hong smiled at Luo Feng. In the past, many wonders have been explained. Today I'll start from the highest point and divide your mental state. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Heart? What is the heart? Mental state, what is the mental state? Hong smiled. From a fighter's point of view, the heart is actually willpower. The strength of your will is already an anomaly. Hong said slowly, but, in general in terms of realms you're only at the first realm of the 3 realms of cultivating the heart. The first realm? Luo Feng was shocked. 3 great mental states? This is my conclusion. Hong smiled faintly. In our ancient Chinese culture, the cultivation of the state of mind has always been very important. And all kinds of interrogation and training of the heart are actually aimed at one's true self, to see through one's true self. As the saying goes, there is no Bodhi tree, there is no mirror, there is nothing in the world, where does the dust come from? They are all aimed at one's true nature, a state of mind cultivation that allows one to see one's nature. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Right now, your heart is as clear as a mirror, untainted by even a speck of dust. Your heart is as sharp as a blade, cutting down all obstacles. It can be said that you have reached an extremely high level in the cultivation of knowing your true nature. Hong sighed, and now you are still continuously condensing your original heart, making your will even more condensed. No matter how condensed it is still the first realm. What about the second realm? Luo Feng asked. Simply put, man and nature as one. Hong pointed at Thunder God beside him. Your second brother is considered this second realm. What is man and nature as one? Luo Feng asked. Man and nature as one mental state perfect. Hong smiled. What is perfect? Yin and yang merging, the path is born. What is yin and yang merging? You are pointing at one's true nature. Chasing the extreme, this is considered walking to the extreme. As the saying goes, extreme yin produces yang, extreme yang produces yin. Just walking to the extreme may be able to raise one's strength, but only when yin and yang merge is it true perfection. For example, when one conducts oneself, one needs to be square and round, when one needs to be hard, when one needs to be soft, when one needs to be soft. This mental state is like that too, condensing like a blade, one needs to condense. And when one needs to be gentle like water, one needs to be gentle like water. As the saying goes, if one uses a blade to cut water, water will flow even more, water will never be able to be cut. In terms of defense, water is stronger than even the toughest shield. Hong smiled, yin and yang merging, man and nature as one, mental state perfect. Of course this level of perfection is also known as the heart of a newborn. It's already considered the pinnacle in theory. Your second brother is like that. Luo Feng held his breath as he listened, asking, heart like a blade, I understand. But how does one's heart become like water? The theory can be explained to you, but the state is hard to explain. Hong smiled and shook his head. Then, the first level is to point at one's heart, to see one's nature, to see through all lies and falsehoods. The second level is yin and yang merging, man and nature as one, heart of a newborn, mental state perfect. Luo Feng asked, the second level is already the pinnacle in theory, what about the third? Beside, Thunder God smiled, the third level, big brother has already touched the edge. The third level. Hong said softly, even I have only touched the edge, the heart is empty and boundless, the heart can be infinitely big. The heart can contain everything. Big brother, what do you mean? Luo Feng asked. It's hard to explain. Hong smiled, Let me explain it this way: the second level is yin and yang merging if it's considered man and nature as one, being in perfect harmony with the land and sky. Then the third level is the heart being infinitely big, able to contain the land and sky, able to contain the universe, able to contain everything. Any and all desires can be contained, whether it's killing, whether it's money, whether it's lust for beauty, whether it's lust for power, everything can be contained. Luo Feng was shocked when he heard this. Everything can be contained? If the third level of mental state is achieved, no matter how powerful a warrior, how powerful a life form, all willpower won't be able to affect me. Hong smiled. Damn sick. Luo Feng stared. Sick, right? Beside, the white-robed bald thunder god smiled. Man and nature as one, heart of a newborn, whether it's ancient yoga or ancient Chinese culture, these are the theoretical limits. However, your big brothers, in Chinese history people have mentioned it before as to whether or not anyone has reached it. I don't know. Luo Feng looked at Hong, filled with even more respect. 3 levels of mental state training. The first level, to see one's nature, to point at one's heart. In many Buddhist and Taoist scriptures, this was considered a manifestation of attaining the Tao. The second level, man and nature as one, heart of a newborn. This is already the pinnacle of theory. The third level, the heart is infinitely big, the heart can contain everything. This was unbelievable. Big brother, how can you reach the third level? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The second level, I vaguely touched it, however I haven't been able to fully comprehend it. Mental state training, it all depended on one's heart. Luo Feng's understanding of one's nature could be said to have reached a limit. Indeed, he vaguely understood the theory of yin and yang combining. It's hard to explain, I've read some books and experienced some things to comprehend. Hong smiled. There's a saying, without desires, there's an ancient saying too. If a man doesn't fight, no one in the world can compete with him. Actually, my Chinese culture has many theories of mental state training. These 2 phrases can be considered as me touching the edge of the third level. It's an inspiration. Without desires, there's an ancient saying. If a man doesn't fight, no one in the world can compete with him. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. These 2 phrases are simple, I understand them. But what you mean is, China's culture is resplendent, countless geniuses. To be able to reach man and nature as one, to have a heart of a newborn, they are all ancient sages. You should first reach the second level before we talk. You actually dare to kill my son, you're really looking to die. A powerful roar, almost like the rage of a god, resounded throughout the skies above the city. A black silhouette rushed into the sky and into the clouds. It was the black-clothed Luo Feng. Damn, there's actually a sector lord hidden here. The black-clothed Luo Feng's speed was shocking. You dare to kill my son, don't even think of escaping. A rumbling voice resounded in his ears. Simultaneously a formless world energy pressured over. So, the silver-white pyramid appeared before the black-clothed Luo Feng and he immediately rushed into it. The golden-robed middle-aged man who was chasing swiftly saw the silver-white pyramid rushing into the sky and stared wide-eyed. It's an outsider. He immediately rushed into the sky, simultaneously using his world energy to pressurize the automaton ship. However, the ship's speed was simply too fast, instantly rushing through the 18th cloud level. The golden-robed middle-aged man stood at the 18th cloud level, looking up at the cloud level, not daring to pass through again. It's actually an outsider. The golden-robed middle-aged man's expression became complicated. I have to inform the Undying Shrine about this. Another outsider has descended on our Blood River continent. The automaton ship was in space, within the control room. That was really dangerous. The black-clothed Luo Feng sat in the sofa and let out a long sigh. I didn't expect a sector lord to be hiding within this city. A sector lord doesn't unleash his aura and completely hides it. I had no way of detecting him at all. However, the moment he moved with the universe space, I could immediately sense his presence. Luckily, I fled quickly. The Mosha clansman could unleash over 10,000 images, causing his instantaneous speed to be extremely shocking, even faster than many sector lords. Fast, that was only because he started quickly. The moment a sector lord's speed soared, he would catch up very quickly. Hence, he first used his speed to shake him off and then immediately rode the automaton ship to escape. Always walking by the river, how can one's shoes not get wet? The black-clothed Luo Feng muttered softly. With this incident, that sector lord will definitely immediately inform the Undying Shrine. If they investigate, they'll probably find some clues and set a trap for me. Jim, anyway, I've gathered enough these 30 years, I'll stop here. 30 years, Mosha LuoFeng's hunt had gathered a total of 9,816 Blood River crystals. Luo Feng too felt. It was too vicious, it was time to stop.